Good morning, this is Vicki.
And this is Jo.
And we're the Two Natural Ladies.
And we talk about the good news we all need and ways of getting the most out of life.
We help people with practical, uplifting ways we can all make a difference.
And we're striving for better, not perfect.
And we love a good laugh. Please enjoy the show. And you're with the Two Natural Ladies, and we have Eve Smith from Umbrella Family Law. And I met Eve on the telephone probably 2 or 3 years ago and had a little chat with Eve, and she's now become part of my business networking group, which is wonderful. So welcome.
Good morning, ladies. How are you today?
We're wonderful.
Yes.
It's light and bright out there, which is so exciting.
I think it's going to be a good day.
I do too.
Oh,
it was rather
excellent.
chilly. It was about 5 degrees when I got up, but that's okay. So tell us a little bit about Umbrella Family Law.
Oh, I'd love to. So Umbrella Family Law, our motto really is that we help our clients start their new lives. So I suppose we're not your traditional family law firm in that our clients are very important to us, and they're our be-all and end-all. So when they come to us, we shelter them, I suppose, under our logo, because under our umbrella, and we protect them from the storms and also protect them from the sunshine, because umbrellas can be, I suppose, twofold in that they protect you from the bad weather and also the good weather, which is how we are as lawyers.
That's really interesting. My mum goes out and puts her umbrella up to shade her from the sun.
Yeah, and we see that as, when people are starting out in their relationship, when everything's rosy and lovely. But actually, it's a time when people are embarking on a relationship that they probably should get some legal advice about, perhaps what's to happen in the event of a separation, or if they've received some money from some parents to buy a house. It's a good time really to check in and get some advice, just in case down the track something happens.
Well, and blended families, I think, too, that can get quite complicated with kids on each side, and then if in the event of a separation, what happens there?
Oh, goodness me, yes, it can. And, it's always as well, somebody always has a story to tell about somebody who's been through a separation, or people have come together and then, Joe Bloggs knows this happens, or Sally down the street, this happened to her. So it's really good that you have some legal advice, because every case is different. And just because so-and-so had a certain settlement doesn't mean to say that you will receive the same.
Yeah, and it's also important that people don't feel bullied by the other side, so to speak. I've seen that happen with girlfriends of mine and male friends as well, where they've just gone, oh, have it, It's like, no, don't do that.
It's not worth the battle, is it?
Yes,
sometimes? And
that's right.
Yeah, that's where we differ as well, because in a lot of law firms, litigation is heavily practiced. And we try and avoid litigation as best we can, because we have a number of lawyers who are collaboratively trained, which means that we avoid court as best we can, and litigation is a last resort rather than a first. So, it's really good that some clients, they come to us and they might be thinking about a separation, but have that advice really early on, so that their partner can't bully them the way that they might think they can, because that person's already informed and they've got the information. So when somebody might say, oh, you're only going to get this, or I'm only going to give you that, the other partner actually knows what the right answers are,
yes,
and doesn't feel forced or pressured into accepting it, and they know actually what the position is.
And you also, what's great is you know some really good counsellors and things like that to do some couples counselling and things like that, and
yeah,
which
exactly.
is great.
So that we do signpost our clients to the correct professionals, because we're lawyers, we're not financial planners, we're not accountants, we're not counsellors. So we very much draw upon those other professions who are going to help our clients through the process. But what we're finding at the moment, unfortunately, is that, many counsellors and marriage counsellors are booked out because of the pandemic. So having clients access those services we're finding really difficult at the moment.
Are you finding any solution to that? Maybe someone in your law firm needs to do a counselling course.
Well, I think so, but I think as lawyers as well, though, we do, although we're not qualified counsellors, we do absorb some of that emotional burden and some emotional upset that clients experience, because quite often, we're the only person that a client is speaking to about their separation, or we're finding out very intimate details about a relationship that they haven't shared with family members or even their closest of friends. So, I suppose we are counsellors to some degree, and it's difficult. We're women, we're human, we want to help. So it's difficult to say, I'm sorry, I'm just your lawyer. I can only deal with the legal aspects of things. Take that somewhere else. That's not what we're about at Umbrella Family Law. And I think what we've realised as well is there's a need for this, and there's a need for hand-holding, and there's a need for people, to have some support and direction, which is why we've just recently set up Umbrella Family Support to help clients in those moments of need, because there is such a shortage at the moment.
Oh, that's great. Well, there you go. I will love that. So you were also talking about how COVID's actually helped you reach more people.
It has, because, everybody's on Zoom. Nobody comes to the office these days. And I think using technology has really helped expand our reach within Victoria. And because having an appointment on Zoom, people can do it in their lunch break. They can do it, an hour after work. They don't need to take a half day's leave to travel to the office to see a lawyer. So I think COVID has helped in that it's made people more accessible, where you can get an appointment to see somebody. But also, of course, COVID has had the opposite effect on relationships, in that it's exacerbated and polarised people further, and actually created some separations where there were some, healthy relationships to start with have disintegrated. Because goodness me, when I married my husband, I didn't expect to have to spend 24/7 with him.
You didn't say that in the vows, did you?
No, I know it said for better for worse and for richer for poorer, but it didn't say
24/7,
7 days a week with him.
Yes. Exactly.
And how's it going, Eve? Everything okay?
Touch and go, lady.
Touch and go. Yeah. Now,
no, but I'm joking about it. But I have to say there are some families who are in real crisis points at the moment, because people have lost their jobs, they have no money.
Their relationships
frustrated.
Are
relationships were probably on tenterhooks to start with. We're locked down. We're on a curfew. You can't move out. It's hard to find accommodation. So there are a lot of boiling pots sitting at the moment, which is unfortunate, particularly where there are children involved.
So, and you've also got your dual qualified. What's that all about, to do with international law?
Yes, I am. So I'm obviously not from Australia originally, but I did my law degree in England. So I'm an English qualified family lawyer as well. So I moved over to Australia 5 years ago. So I can advise clients as well on where best actually to divorce and separate if there are assets back in the UK. So there are areas and pockets of Melbourne where there's a large expat community. So I have a number of clients who may be looking to relocate back to the UK, or they might have a house back there that they want some advice on as well. So that's where I suppose Umbrella Family Law has a little point of difference, in that we can advise expats on who have assets back in England and Wales.
And can you represent both parties when they're going through a separation?
Oh, goodness me. Could you imagine that?
You'd be, now, back to, jump to the other side.
So you're not that good?
Hey, come on. If they were getting along, wouldn't it be nice? But, but no, we can't, because that's what we call a conflict. So when somebody comes for some advice, we need to make sure that the other party is represented by another lawyer. And it's really good, because that's where signposting and identifying the right lawyers at the start can really help the trajectory of a case. So if you've got two lawyers involved who are collaborative, then we know that there's not going to be heat in the case, and it's going to progress holistically, and it's all going to be as good as it can be. But if somebody, of course, goes off charged with a litigation lawyer and then comes to see me as well, then the case probably, as much as we'd like to avoid court and keep it holistic, it's probably going to start off on a different trajectory. So it's really important that both parties identify the right lawyer for them at the start of a matter.
And if two people actually, really wanted to, they knew of you or knew you and they wanted to, could you recommend another lawyer for them?
Yes, I do that day in, day out. So I usually give my client, a list of maybe 3 or 4 names of other lawyers that I suggest their partner go and contact. Or if I'm writing to the other side or contact them, I'll usually give 3 or 4 names and say, these are lawyers that I think perhaps you should go and speak to. So I don't get there's no kickback for that.
No.
But it's good because if I'm working on a file with another lawyer that we have a good working relationship with, and that can only benefit the client.
Yes, true.
Yeah, both financially, emotionally, psychologically, and that's, obviously your aim is to help these people through this new stage of their life as effortlessly and easy as possible.
Exactly, yes.
So what is family law?
Oh, goodness. Family law is everything to do with, I suppose, the start of a relationship and the end of a relationship. People will ring us up and say, I need a will. Do you do wills? Or I'm selling a house. Can you do the contract for me? But we don't. So it's very much about when a relationship is starting and people are coming together and pooling their assets. And at the end of a relationship where people are disentangling their financial situation from one another. Also, as well, we help people with arrangements for their children, how many nights are they going to spend with each parent and who's going to do school pickup and things like that. And also relocation cases, so where people are wanting to move interstate or overseas and they need, the consent of the other parent, then we help with things like that. So really it's about when I suppose couples come together and couples separate, but purely in relation to the assets, not wills, not conveyancing.
And what about if parents are separated and there's one is holding the child as a ransom to the other, or even to the grandparents? Do you do that kind of thing? We
do, yes, and that's very sad where children are piggy in the middle and used like that. But yes, very much so. That's one of the areas of law that we practice rather frequently. So, there it's about, and again, we can signpost mediation, collaborative law, and last resort court proceedings where, we're not getting anywhere with the other parent. So, and quite often at the moment, people are upping and off, where people want to move interstate. It may well be that the child's there one day and gone the next because one of the parents has decided to move. So that's, in cases like that, we need to act really very quickly.
Yes.
And at times like that, we do actually need to involve the court.
But you can also represent grandparents?
Yes, we can. Yes. And it's quite sad, isn't it? I think grandparents are far underutilised, I have to say. So to have the support of grandparents is fantastic. But of course, when relationships are disentangling and people are perceived to take sides and, it all falls foul, doesn't it? So and the court's approach really is what's in the best interest of the child, and to have a relationship with their parents and their extended family is, of course, of benefit in most cases to the child.
Wow. So divorce costs.
Well, a lot of people think they're sky high, don't they? And I think if you're in court, then costs can be extortionate. The divorce itself is a paper exercise, and I suppose is relatively inexpensive for what you get from it. Divorcing from your former spouse is relatively inexpensive, but actually I think when people say divorce costs, they encapsulate the cost of the financial disentanglement, and that can go into hundreds of thousands at times when you're in litigation. But at Umbrella Family Law, we're very conscious of cost, and it's really important for us that our clients retain as much as they can because they need it to start their new life. So that's where we do an awful lot of fixed fees and are very conscious that it's important to our clients that the costs are kept as low as possible.
And really, they've got a bit of control. I mean, it's not always that as easy. It's easier said than done. But the more amicable it is, the cheaper it's going to be, isn't it?
Exactly. And a lot of clients put in the hard yards themselves. They'll have conversations with their ex. They'll work some things out. They might go off to mediation for a little bit and work out some parts of their separation with mediation, then come back to their lawyer to write up, to draw up the document. So it's really about getting the right lawyer on board early in the separation and then signposting to help clients out to keep it as cost effective as possible, and then actually tapping into the lawyer when they really need the lawyer. But of course, we are there for the whole process. If somebody wanted to pay hundreds of thousands, well, fantastic, but that's not
what you're up to.
No, and that doesn't sit comfortably with us as a law firm.
Yeah, so you'll try and minimise the costs where you can. I mean, it's amazing, really. I've seen so many different people over the years, and I feel like it's become more common these days to not have that whole horrible divorce. Like I know people who, one person, he moved next door so that they could share the care of the kids, and I know lots of people who've done it amicably, and I think I don't know whether you do, but I think more so these days people become more aware of that.
I agree, and I think it's fantastic for the children because in all of this, it's the children that you need to protect and make sure that their future relationships will be sound, or as sound as they can be, and that people aren't polarised, because you see so many families that once were a fantastic nucleus, and then a separation occurs and they become so polarised, and the children too, that they'll have a healthy relationship with both parents, and then one parent will ostracise them from the other parent. And then, what do those children's future relationships look like? Are they going to be healthy, or are they, in some difficulty because of what they experienced as a child? So getting the separation up on the right foot is hugely important, hugely.
And I love that, you're not about the money, that you're actually about making a difference to these people's lives, and if possible saving the money. And as you said, if they want to go through the litigation and you can't stop that, so be it, but your actual aim is to make this as smooth a transition, both financially, psychologically, emotionally, etc. And that's wonderful. That's the kind of thing we need when we need it.
Yes, exactly. And there are a number of lawyers out there who practice the same as we do at Umbrella Family Law. And I think there is a shift, certainly, within the family law field to help clients the way that we do. And that was one of the reasons Jane and I set up Umbrella Family Law, because we wanted to practice family law the way we wanted to, which was the most benefit for our clients, which I'm pleased to say we feel as though we're doing.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. Now, how can people get in touch with you?
Well, people can call us either on our office number, which is manned, even though we're in lockdown, or also we've got a Facebook page, which is at Umbrella Family Law, Instagram, or by email, which is the team at Umbrella Family Law. And we do offer an initial fixed fee consult too. Beautiful.
So what's the number for the office?
Oh, the number for the office, goodness, that would help, wouldn't it? It is 0392796800.
Thank you so much. Now, just before we go, you have picked Coldplay Clocks. Tell us why you picked this song.
I picked this song because it takes me to a different place. I just feel free when I listen to this. And I think working in such an emotionally charged profession, I just need some escapism every once in a while. So when I listen to this song, I just feel as I'm running through sunflower fields, or, I don't have any weight on my shoulders, which as a lawyer, it doesn't happen very often. So the more I listen to this song, the less stress I feel. So I think that ticks all of the boxes for me.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for the difference you're making to people.
Thanks for having me, ladies. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
You too.
You've been listening to the Two Natural Ladies podcast. Visit twonaturalladies.com.au for more information. Thanks for joining us.